trying. That's it.
So, question. We keep on saying like, date, get experience, right? Go through these phases, but dating unintentionally, is that actually good experience? Because that's essentially what we're kind of saying. Like, use it, explore, but if you're dating without intention, how value all experience isn't good experience, right? So if you practice something wrong for a long time, you're gonna play in a game and do it wrong. So now we're saying women right now in this particular topic, but men too, right? But women are predominantly being unmarried and being alone later in life, in terms of black men and women. So are we championing dating unintentionally? Q, what do you think?
Are you talking about like how popular this, as the kids say, sneaky links, whatever that pertains to? Like, no, we're not. I'm not doing that. I'm dating. Anytime that I date, most of the time is going to be with intention. I ain't
Well,
sneaking with nobody. I'm not like. So that's
well,
what you mean. Like you're dating with the purpose to turn this into something.
well, I know we say like, you get experience in your 20s, but this experience, how viable is it to the real thing? Because we're saying some women need to go through a whole phase. Um, this is necessary. You should be able to explore, so on and so forth. But how valuable is that experience if it's not the actual experience you need to be successful in a real relationship when you know you have no intentions?
It's valuable because you learn what you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you know once you get there. Like, listen, I know I don't like this. I know that the person that I settled down with, this is not going to be okay. I don't like this. Or you know what? I really love this particular. I love the way that the person that I was dating made me feel when he or she did X, Y, and Z. I know that I want this particular quality in my partner. If you don't experience that, you don't know what you want. Right?
Um,
You take the
so,
first thing that makes you feel good, but it may not be the right thing for you. But if you have multiple experiences, you can say, all right, I experienced this. I didn't like that so much. I experienced this. I really, really enjoyed that. And then you pull from all of these people and you find that one person that has nobody's going to have all the qualities, but most of them. And then you settle down with them.
okay. So now I kind of agree, except for the fact that when you meet the person you're supposed to be with, a lot of those things that you weren't willing to negotiate before because it was the wrong person don't
Mm-hmm.
exactly apply. What do you think about that?
I think that's true.
So that experience of what you don't want, when you meet that person that meets the criteria, but also pushes those buttons that you can't quite put your finger on, a lot of those things that you didn't want, you might be willing to kind of forego or negotiate.
Mm.
When it comes to personality or like I think that's more so. I think that you could overlook physical things, right? Like you could say, you know what, I want a woman that looks like X, Y, and Z, or I want a man that's 6 feet, that has this, that's twosome, that has hair, that got a good hairline, that has this. But if they have other qualities that compensate for those things, you're willing to let that go. But I don't
Right.
think that you're gonna let personality, morals, you're not gonna turn a blind eye to those things.
Okay. So Q, what do you think? Do you think dating unintentionally is something that we should be championing?
No, I don't think we should be championing anything that's done without an intention, because now you're just navigating blindly. That's stupid.
Okay.
um, I think everything should have an intention or a purpose. So, but I will say this: I think that we're moving into that era now. A lot of us here might be a little bit more old school, but I do definitely see through social media posts and where a lot of stuff is going that we're moving right into that.
Yeah. Corey.
I don't know, man. I think I see some benefit in like just I would say dating without intention, or like the experience that I had of like dating with no intention. Um, I think you're just gaining experience from interacting with women and how to deal with women will be valuable like in the future. You could tell when dudes who never had a lot of chicks like get a chick, like they don't know how to navigate that situation. And I think they would have been better off if they had more experience with women. even though it may not help with maybe like some relationship things, but just like how to deal with women, how to interact with them, just how to navigate the whole thing. I know you know what I'm talking about. Huh? You can see with dudes who never got chicks, like get a chick, they be fucking it up.
Yeah, so I think you're right. We've seen that, and we kind of clowned them, right, for not
Mhm.
knowing how to manipulate women, how we know how to manipulate them, right? How to be to convey intentionality while knowing that we're unintentional, right? Because that's really the games that we play.
All right.
But how valuable is that, right? If we've been playing soccer, now we go to play football because the relationship seems to be football to a lot of people, where we everybody watches football in America by and large, right? So you
Mm.
think you know what's going on, but when you actually have to play football, we know, especially 90% of people don't know shit, don't know how to play football at all. And I think that's what happens with all these unintentional dates and going, oh, it's a free meal, this, that, and the third. How valuable is this? Because we're remaining unmarried. We're regressing in that aspect. Alex, what you think?
I think I agree with what everyone is saying, but I think if we're honest, I don't think that people are upfront about what their intentions are. I think some people just want to have a casual sexual relationship, and that's okay. But if that's what you want, then just say that. Don't proceed to date this person, to take them out, to do this, that, and the third, if that's really all you wanted. If you are looking for someone to just hang out with, kick it, have a good time, and possibly see where that's going to go, then say that. I think the issue is that people are not being upfront and honest with themselves. So they get into these situations and then they're just like, well, I guess we'll see where it goes. And a lot of times people stay in situations, a lot of times women, we stay in situations longer than what we thought it was because it's just like, well, he told me he didn't want to have anything serious. We're just in a situationship, and then you end up being, we look years down the line, and then it's just like, well, what are we doing? We get into that phase. So again, I'm very strong in the sense of when it comes to dating, when I think of dating, I think of you are looking for your potential lifelong partner. And if you feel that in the beginning phases of us talking that I'm not the one for you, let's be clear about that. Let's stop pretending that this is going to change. Let's just end it. And then also not play with people. If you are not looking for anything serious, just say that. Just say that. You don't have to sit here and play these games. There are plenty of other people who just want casual sex as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Go ahead, Corey. Say it.
Well, first off, I think the like the whole like guys should be honest up front. Like if you just want casual sex, just say that. That don't work.
Not just guys,
That
but women too.
But women too. Yeah.
Women
Women
too.
too. Women too.
I don't know if that's the game plan for fellas to actually get some sex. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily like at the point where you realize that this ain't going any further. 'Cause I don't know if you ever really know when that point is, right? Because things could always change. You know, you could say after the first week, I don't see this going nowhere, but then maybe a month later, maybe you do see it going somewhere. So I don't think you could just announce, hey, after week one, I don't see this going nowhere. Let's just chill. Like you got to kind of play things out sometime and see where they go.
Yeah, but I think that you should put a cap on it, right? Like if you're dating somebody, you go on a few dates, you've hung out a few times, you've seen things, you felt this person out, and you come to this conclusion that they might be feeling you a little more than you're feeling them. You're
Mm.
gonna have to draft an email, like one of those emails, and saying, "Hey, listen, it's been fun, it's been real, I've enjoyed hanging out with you, but you know, this ain't really where I'm at." And I think that's for both men and women. I mean, I think now people just ghost each other, but I usually draft like some kind of HR email and just say thank you for your time.
That's
We've had
awesome.
a record number of applicants.
I won't
Unfortunately,
ghost
we're not
anybody. I
those people.
always send like an HR email. It's been good hanging out with you. I've appreciated your time, but this isn't the direction that I'm going in.
I
Yeah,
will
man.
say anytime that I've ever ghosted somebody, it's either because I don't respect them or I just feel like, they're not worth it's basically the same thing. I just feel like they're not worthy of me having a conversation with them.
Right.
So I think that's one of the most disrespectful things that you can do to somebody is just
Just
ghost
ghost
them.
them.
Yeah. No, there's
Yeah.
no need to do that. You could draft
Nah,
a little.
ghosting is necessary sometimes. Sometimes that's a hard conversation to have with somebody who you don't really like, who you barely just know. Y'all only
So
been
if
Right.
you're
on
not
2 or 3
available to have the
dates.
conversation, then why are you engaging?
Shoot, it's a hurtful conversation to tell somebody, "Hey, I just don't like you." Like,
No,
But
it's not. It's the way that you
facts are
present it.
not
It
feelings.
doesn't work out. It didn't work out. I enjoyed your company. I
And with
appreciate
you
hanging
trying
out
to
with you.
spare everybody's feelings, that is how people get dragged along situations
Right.
Yeah.
So what would that
Exactly, because that's
relationship
and then
look
get
like?
everybody.
surprised
That's
when they're having these feelings.
that's everybody that's not honest with themselves, right? I'm gonna play the game. You can't hide around. I don't want to hurt your feelings. If I don't like you, I don't like you. There's
Yeah.
somebody for you, sure. You could
Right.
be as corny and say it's not you, it's me. I don't give a fuck what you say. But
Yeah.
if you
You have to
ghost
say
me,
something.
it's just kind
You
of
have to
like
say something.
I mean,
so.
but
That's
what Corey
childish and disrespectful.
Corey said, you don't even know the person. You had one date. You might have got some cheeks. Like you saying, you owed him a conversation.
Not
Then
a
that ghosting
That
text.
doesn't
hasn't been
always happen
happening.
from
A
It's
that.
like
text.
How's
A
it? What's the
text.
conversation? I'm not interested.
No,
Period.
I
Yeah.
mean, but you know why you have to do that? Because there's no intentions, right? And that's circling back, right? You don't got no intentions. I didn't have no intentions to begin with, but now I owe you an explanation.
No, it's not it's just common courtesy, right?
Right.
Like
Correct.
even when somebody, so for example, even if somebody texts you by mistake, you'd be like, you know what, sir, you have the wrong number. You're gonna respond back. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
because it's a common courtesy. It's just a kind thing to do. You went out with this person, you don't want to leave them hanging, or you don't want to leave
it's
them
the
wondering.
adult thing to do.
It's the
It
adult
is the
thing to do.
adult
It's
thing
the
to do.
mature thing to do. Hey, I had a good time with you. We had fun the other night, but you know what? I'm not really looking for anything right now. It's been cool, but
well, they're gonna
I
say,
think
why didn't you tell me that before I gave myself to you? Why didn't you?
But but again,
but
that's
that's
on
on you.
you.
That's on you. You
That's
shouldn't
on
have been fucking
you.
on the
Right.
first date. That's on you. I mean, we're
That's
not.
on
Don't.
you.
Yeah, that's on you.
I
Yeah,
would
but
say
this,
early 20s, the two people that I ghosted, I had multiple interactions with them. So it wasn't just like a one night stand kind of thing.
yeah,
Like it was disrespectful on my part to do that.
Yeah.
okay.
And I
That's
think also back to your intentionality thing, like people start dating in high school. You can't say that my 17, 18-year-old self, yes, I'm looking for marriage at 18, and I'm going to start all my dating experiences that way. That's not logical. Now, people do that, and those are the ones that end up in divorce because when they hit 30, and it's like, oh shit, there's a whole world out there. I've never stepped outside. Let me do that. Now, should you date with intention? Should we promote that later on in life? Yes. What does that look like for everybody? Very different. But if you can't start, like all your experiences, like life is a building block. You start with the bullshit. You figure out what you like, what you don't like, and as you move forward and progress in your maturity, then you can start to say that this is what I'm going to start doing now.
Yeah.
But you can't just start off that way. Nobody starts at the top. Nobody
Yeah.
says I'm going to be the most successful person today. Not
I,
going to happen.
I think that's fair. However, geriatric pregnancies at 35, right? I know a
Yeah.
couple women where you have sex with the wrong nigga. Now the man you really want, you can't have because he knows somebody that know you from whenever you did what you did, thinking that your 20s was to play around,
That's the worst.
right? So now,
Worst.
right, we're saying like, yeah, like building no. So in actuality, I think there's been more time in the past where people have gotten married younger than didn't. That's kind of a slightly modern trend, because what are we getting when we're doing these things without any intention? So again, I'm asking: Are we champion whole phases? Are we champion exploring? Are we champion dating and getting experience without intention? I just need to know, Corey, yes or no?
Uh, I'm not championing the whole phase for women or for necessarily for men. So no, I'm not championing the whole phase. But I do champion frequent dating, but not sleeping, not the sex part of it. I
Okay,
think you should date a
Alex.
lot of people to see who and what you like, but you know how to sleep with all of them. That's what I'm doing.
Alex.
I think you're gonna do what you feel is necessary, but whatever you choose to do, whether it is a whole phase or not, I hope whoever that individual is, you have to be honest with yourself to say, can you handle this? Can you handle somebody coming up and just being like, yo, it was just some sex? Are you okay with that? Can you accept that if they're not interested in you the way that you are?
Each.
I wouldn't champion the whole phase, but I do have a niece who is in a relationship and she's 17 years old. And my opinion is don't get too serious now. You're going to go to college and, you're going to meet different people and you're going to be able to learn different things and see what you really like. So I wouldn't say I'm pushing her into a whole phase, but definitely exploring and meeting people.
Enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself adds to your body count and then leaves you unmarried, but okay. Um,
But enjoy yourself also, Ham, does not necessarily mean sex. Enjoy
Like having
yourself
sex,
Being
yeah.
married is
or
not.
hanging out.
oh, date unintentionally? Got it. Gotcha. Okay.
That's what people do in college, though.
It's college.
Okay. I mean, college might not be the right path because we going to college, we still ain't making more money, and we still remaining unmarried.
Who's not making more money? And marriage is not always the goal.
But you got 6 jobs. You don't get tired.
Who? Yes, I have 6 jobs because I choose to. I make 6 figures off of one.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
Now remember, P, you're in the top 10.
See?
He's in the top 10% of men, right? There's if you do 40, I think there's 20 million black men. So that's 1.4 million black men. And then you have to take out, so let's say for the women, right? P's in the top 10% making 100,000, right? So that's a
I
million
thought
black men.
10% is like, what is that? It's like 180 and up, right? It's not just 100,000 because
No,
that's
it's 100,000 and up.
just
So
100 even. All
yeah.
right, I'm at,
So it's like 1.2 million men because I think there's 20 million black
That's
men, right?
poverty.
Right, 1.2 million black men. But then you have to. So for women, right? A lot of
that's
women want that. A lot of women want.
Yes.
A lot of women want that top 10%. But then if you take out our gay population, then you take out the men that are already married. It's 20 million black women fighting over 500,000 men, right? And then you don't racked up your body count. You done talk to a bunch because even if a chick comes right and Corey went out on a date with her, I'm not gonna talk to her. Like I wouldn't wife like I just it wouldn't. So even though you're just having fun, even if you interact with the wrong dude, it's a wrap. And the population that you want is already very small.
Yeah.
So, all right.